think if I do it like that, I have it on reverse, so at least I can see if I'm still in the frame. And I have the bear and the hat. Okay. Let's review first the most important statement for teaching, which comes from Mill, and which is the principle of what we've done and what I've tried to introduce you to. Mill in the essay on Bentham, in which he says, "No one inquirer is everything. Every inquirer, every philosopher, every thinker is either young or old, rich or poor, sickly or healthy, married or unmarried, meditative or active, a poet or a logician, an ancient or a modern, a man or a woman." There's no way out of that. Everyone is very particular. And if a thinking person has, in addition, the accidental peculiarities, by which he really means individuality, of his individual modes of thought, but maybe he also means peculiar. Anyone who's really into one philosophy or another has some peculiar ideas. Every circumstance which gives a character to the life of a human being carries with it its peculiar biases, its peculiar facilities for perceiving some things and for missing or forgetting others. And then here's the punchline. But from points of view different from his, different things are perceptible, and none are more likely to have seen what he does not see than those who do not see what he sees. This is a great humility. You're not the Pope. You're not infallible. Everyone has these peculiarities. And he lived by this. Nobody's more likely to have seen what I missed than the people who don't agree with me. And all through his life, starting with the great Thomas Carlyle, who he met when hardly anybody knew Carlyle, the great conservative, even arch-conservative philosopher and radical. People would meet Mill, see how interested he was in what they thought, and assume they had converted him. Carlyle said, "I've got a new mystic." No, he didn't. So a lot of people also had hurt feelings later when it turned out that the person that they almost thought was their disciple disagreed with them, had been trying to learn from them, and had taken some things but not everything, and wasn't a disciple at all. He was a humble and a good man. But this should be the way that classes are taught. When a student, everybody knows something. And I try to tell the students, you're not stupid. The professors that talk down to you, if you get the feeling, that doesn't sound right, trust your feeling. You've had experiences that your professors have never had. You all have, especially in this school, such a wealth of experience. And it's one thing to have read books, but it's another thing to have had experiences. Case in point, the one good thing that came out of the pandemic is we've all now experienced what used to be a very common human situation, a pandemic, the bubonic plague, the plague coming over the Silk Road. We've seen how it can totally end the society. You have, as students, you're younger, you're digital natives, you're from a different country. So many of your teachers, and you'd be surprised how many of your teachers, their parents were professors. You'd be surprised. And I think that a lot of the boys sitting in the classes, listening to someone talk about war or violence or anger, just know in their gut that they never went to a high school like they went through. They don't know what physical violence really feels like. In fact, they don't look like they've had a fist fight in their life. So hang on to your faith in yourselves. Everybody sees something. And if you find something that doesn't ring true to you, stick to that. Don't just throw it away. Okay, good.